Hey y'all, you're listening to Spiritual Freedom Podcast, and I'm your host, Susie. I'm glad you made it. So this is a safe space where we get to talk about anything and everything spiritual and metaphysical, but we're going to talk about it without the judgment, without the fear or religious guilt, and without losing any credibility. So let's open our hearts and our minds, and let's talk about the weird without being weird about it. Hey y'all, happy March. I can't believe it's here already. I am a shade behind on getting podcasts out. I think y'all have heard me in other podcasts before. I fit this podcast in, which is, my heart's work, but I fit it in with my life, my regular life, which is a full-time job as an attorney, and then like 2 teenagers. They're ruling my world right now. And not only that, but like, good God, I don't know what it is about January and February, but like my energy was not wanting to roll. I kept thinking, it's starting now, but it's like, good God, it's been sluggish. It has not felt like the new year kind of energy like it has in other lives, other years. And I've had to just kind of like accept the fact that I've had what has felt like sluggish energy from just like, I don't know if it's the winter and it being colder or darker. It's like the moment I get done, like say with work and then exercise, I would come back, make dinner, or with, watch my spouse make dinner. Let's be real. Let's be honest. I'm not a cook, or I don't enjoy it. I'll do the minimal part of it, cutting and throwing, cleaning up the kitchen, but not the cooking. But anyway, not my jam. But yeah, like, and then like totally want to crash on the couch and either read or chill, just exist, because I either wasn't feeling good, feeling tired, feeling sleepy, and it has been like nap city in terms of that, like falling asleep on the couch, like before the actual bedtime, and it's like, oh my God, I'm that old person. So I don't know how eventful your January, February was. I had a little bit of that energy. And then on top of it, like I'm in a good space, y'all. There's nothing, emergency. My kids are doing well, but we had to change some things with some education, situations, and had to move along with that, especially with my youngest, and just making their mental health experience better. So we've just had a lot of kind of like internal shifts for the changes we're going to make. And anyway, yeah, I've had a little bit of a mama bear kind of focus with that situation. So, which I'm still processing. I'm sorry to kind of talk about it cagey. I don't mean to be so cagey. It's just as like, I'm still dealing with it and trying to give them privacy on it too. And anyway, raising teens ain't easy, and it's not easy when they're non-conforming and either, in some big societal way. So it's just kind of, God bless them. Anyway, doing better now. We're in March. I can like feel spring kind of coming, but it's been so cold up here in the Pacific Northwest. It's just been a little slow. So I feel Mother Nature on the season. Like I've been slow too. But thank you for hanging in there. I do care. I got to roll with it when it's authentic. Like I am never going to be on a production schedule. Just not going to do it. If I don't feel it, if I don't feel right, if I feel like the energy is not understood yet by me consciously, and that I'm not going to talk from my ass just because I feel like I should be posting by now. Like, I appreciate you waiting, but just know it comes from authentic, like, I'm here when I feel like I have a message. And I do. I feel like I look at the past 2 months and I'm like, okay, that felt like, I have a new phrase here for it. I mean, it felt like sluggish time. I felt like a slug. But they call it, what do they call it? Liminal space. I call it a time of liminal space. Of like, figuring out how to energetically get through that. And I'm sorry if y'all hear me like shuffling my cards in the background, because I'm about to do like a general reading for us. But liminal space, I don't want to sound more well-read than I am, but I had to recently look it up actually, because I was like, what does that mean? But it's a great phrase, and it means like transitional space, like physical space too. There's more definitions to it, but the main one that I kind of grasped onto, like, hallways or train depots, or a train, like these places where they're not really a place that's meant to like have people stay long term. It's like a lot of transition, people go in and out. But what I mean by it, when I think about my last 2 months by that, it means like I had activity, I had things, I had a lot of thoughts, of course, deeper healing on various things, but when it comes to like how I felt like I moved for my spiritual work, which is kind of always on my forefront. I'm always like, oh, I want to go, I want to talk more about it and connect with people more. But, you know, life just gets busy. And then it's like, oh, I got to look at my energy. And then I'm pushing myself in my head, like, why didn't you go sit down and talk about a follow-up to manifestation or something else? And, you know, talk about this, you know, I'm giving myself a hard time in my head. When my body just needed rest, I got on and off sick again. And so did the kids. And then like I had the kid focus, and it was just like, not now, Suze. Chill, TFO. And I'm not great with receiving that message. My body and my mind are just like, fine, but I'm going to bitch about it almost every day, to like have to like tell myself to stop being so critical, to see things as seasons. I fight the seasons so much, because I have so much drive. Like, you know, my Mars is in Leo. I get passionate about something, I want to freaking do it. And I don't know. But there's seasons when my body does need a break. Or my mind does. I needed those naps on the couch where I just find myself with my mouth open snoring on the couch. Like that was, I needed those humble moments. And I don't know, like I just decided not to fight it. It took me a while, but like that was it. It was just literally like, I just got to see and appreciate time and the seasons of it, and realize I'm in a privileged spot that when I am an energetic being, like in heaven, or however you want to call the beautiful pause space before we come here and actually manifest in a 3D experience, you know, in our human meat suits. But like when we're in heaven as these healed energetic beings, like I feel like that's how it is in my mind, that we look at this experience as humans and are like, I can't believe we are so stuck up on like how fast something comes, how long we have to wait, you know, the actual linear passage of time. It's a real part, I think, of the spiritual metal proofing that we have as souls, to kind of have this experience. Because when we're a spiritual being, like we're with God, we're in the oneness, you know, we want to be on planet whatever, X, we're going to be there the moment we think it. The moment we're like, I want to check how things are. Oh, here I am. I'm here on this planet. You know, it happens immediately. Or we want to manifest a comet. Oh, it's right there. We're part of it. Like it happens so quickly. Whereas here is in our human form, manifestation is a real spiritual practice. It is that we do not see it in the 3D. And it takes months, sometimes years, for people to manifest some of the things that they really want for their soul work to come through. And how can we spend that time? Because it's not just about, you know, wasting the days and being like, oh, okay, I just got to wait this out. It's like, no, we got to find daily inner peace, you know, daily happiness. And that ultimately is where I was. I don't look at the 2 months of liminal time as, oh, I was Miss Cranky Pants and, you know, but I figured out the lesson. It was like, no, I had those moments, and then I got to happiness each day. Well, you know, some days more so than others. Let's not bullshit you. But like, that's the exercise. That's the exercise. It is always an exercise about our energetic management. And how are we going to do that on a daily basis when we probably know we're going through liminal time? You know, I might still be having liminal time in front of me. At this point, I've kind of like stopped calling it. Well, I'm talking about it so I can talk about it, but I'm trying not to even think of it like I'm in liminal space right now or anything like that, because I don't want to attach myself to it and just want to be in the flow. It got me ultimately, at the end of this 2 months, I kind of was like, okay, fine. I see that I need to have peace. I need to not judge what kind of period I'm going through. And just like, whatever daily can get me into mental peace, like my affirmations, my meditation practice, my physical exercise, drinking water, whatever the F it is for y'all. But like, do it. And then don't think of yourself in a liminal space, but just know that sometimes that's part of it. And then just to be like, I accept what is. I just kept going back to, I have exactly what I have right now. And I'm meant to have exactly this experience right now. Like right now, like, why am I fighting it in any way? And then in that space, once I kind of stopped having the petulant child reaction to the liminal period, like then it was like, okay, well, what do I want to do? And then I started thinking about it. And then it was like, exciting. Well, you know, I'm just trying to like think about the year and a little less, pissiness energy. I guess is what I'm going to call it. And yeah, I got some good ideas, and they're just kind of percolating, and I'm letting the confirmation of that just kind of pop up. But, you know, I've got some ideas about where I want to go or some programs I want to do. And then it's just a different way of manifesting than I have before, which I've usually been really ego pressed and like, here's my list. These are my peeps, you know, I want to try to do. These are the retreats, places I want to go to, or traveling, or sacred spaces. And I'd be way more organized and like listy about it. And now I'm just like, have an idea of some things, and I'm just a lot more loosey-goosey. I don't know. I hope these comments just help somebody. Sorry, I've gone off for like 10 minutes on this. But I have, here, I'm going to do our general reading. I've grounded into the earth, surrounded myself with love and light and divine protection. And my intention that I'm saying now in front of us both, but I've already did before I started this, is that I get the most helpful and healing message for us as a collective for March, from Source, from God, from our angels, from our helpers, from our teachers. Whoever is from the light is what I'm asking to help us with. So let me see what we got. So in terms of the cards, though, I think I threw the card box over here. Hold on. Okay, I threw it on the ground. It is the Energy Oracle cards, and it's by Sandra Ann Taylor. So that's the first one. And the other one I'm going to go into, if I don't forget, I just want to do it now. It's the Goddess Power Oracle. I'm just showing you all the top of my boxes here. And we'll go through that one. All right, so let's see what we got from Source. To help, to heal, to live, to serve, for the highest good of all involved. And let's see what pops out. If nothing pops, then something pops. Let me just finish the deck here. Then I'll pick. I'm going to have at least two. So I'm just feeling like I need a... Okay, on the bottom of the deck is community. And then the one that came out is the garden and the gate, which is a nice little image of a girl by a gate in a garden, like kind of looking, she's got a rad garden, but she's looking over the garden wall gate. And it's like, oh, the countryside is pretty. I feel like checking it out. So it's that kind of like, you know, signaling. And I think it's soft signaling, which feels kind of like why I'm like, I don't know exactly what my plans are this year, but they feel like they're going to be coming. A woman holding a coin, which to me is like the feminine receptive energy of knowing your worth. Really interesting. So there's a big thing about oh, this is, okay, I'm getting it. So in the garden, the gate, another element of this card, this girl, as she kind of looks over her shoulder at this like beautiful kind of like hillside in the background that's kind of like lit up with more light. Sometimes we know that there might be some opportunities that would really light us up. That would be really great. Like we know it. We know that they're there. But then like, how do we process that in terms of manifestation, in terms of mindset, in terms of like energy? Like how are we holding that on a daily basis when we have a hope for, boy, I would really like this kind of a development in my career, in my love life. You know, it's the next thing up. And the woman holding a coin, for that to come out after that means this kid or this person, this divine, if we have divine energy within us, that's both, I'll say masculine and feminine, but it's not about gender. People always say it's not about gender, but we keep using the genderizing names. I know, it drives me nuts. The receptive and generative energies within us, if we have that dichotomy within us, then it's this inner receptive energy that has to recognize the opportunity of something greater out there that can expand me, can increase my love, can be inspiring, can be, you know, passionate for me. And then also that gets coupled with this idea that, and I am worthy of making the moves toward that experience. And that is a big thing that I feel like Spirit wants us to kind of contemplate. And the community is the expectation that it will be well received. Community card is just like three peeps looking like Greek goddesses. I don't think they've got happy faces on, but I'm just going to interpret it that way. It's just, yeah, this visual doesn't quite work for me. But anyway, what I'm getting though psychically is the expectation that, okay, I see this opportunity. I am worth it. Will I be well received? Will I see the acceptance reflected in those who, you know, receive my art? If I go talk about spiritual topics, are they going to receive what I say? Are they going to like call me a crazy person? if I go become a medium, or, if they're going to accept, am I going to have good readings? It's that kind of stuff. If I really want to go have this experience with like a divine partner, is that divine partner going to accept me and like hear my heart? Or is this divine partner going to get triggered by possible companionship and just go into their wounds and just miss this whole fucking opportunity like a bunch of other people I've experienced? Like that kind of, which one is it going to be? Am I going to have energy of, yes, they're going to meet me? Or am I going to have energy of, no, they're not going to meet me? And the whole point here is with these cards is that's what Spirit wants you to kind of like evaluate. How is your energy with that? About being received well. Like, of course I'm going to have clients, even if you're a real estate person. And it's like the whole, like, of course I'm going to have clients that like are really appreciative of me, and they like love the listings I show them. And they're like, oh, you've given us like the best choices. We don't even know how to choose now. Like, and like that kind of stuff. And they're not complaining about paying your fee, that kind of stuff. Like having that kind of energy from your clientele, from that to if you're a doctor, I don't know why I said it weird, or PA or whatever, the patients appreciate your energy in that exchange, right? Like they listen to you, they're polite, they're honest, that you're getting that kind of clientele. Like that's how you can change it in your 3D. When you have this, how am I going to be received? It happens all over across your world. It's not just like, is my art going to be received by the fellow art community? Will they put it up on the wall? Or they're going to tell me, thanks again, try again next year. It's not that. It's not about art reception. It's about when I talk to my family, are they going to hear me? Or are they not? And to encourage the energy of them rising to that expectation. Sometimes family or people in general, if you have a blurb and people don't meet you, then they're not on the same vibe. But if you start with the fact that I expect this, then you know when they don't, that they're not meant for you, that you need to limit and have boundaries and cut. But if you start with the expectation that people are going to be receiving you in a open-hearted way because you're open-hearted, then you're going to, first of all, have more of those experiences and know, okay, these are my people. Now I can see it. Whereas before, when you don't start with this expectation and really kind of this evaluation of your own energy of like, well, where am I on that? Have I ever really put conscious thought to how I'm received? I hadn't until my spiritual path kind of opened, and I was like, intentions serious, like having intentions about having a work meeting, having, going out, what friends I hang out with, like just kind of like having that like expectation, even in terms of your partnerships. Like I am in a loving and committed relationship with my divine partner. Even if you don't feel like it's right now, like that can kind of help that partner rise to it. Oh, you're going to find out soon if they can. Like it's just part of this, like you're creating an energy for the divine to like bring those people up to it or not. But the thing is, you will have more if you have this expectation of being received kind of more out there, like part of your consciousness experience. Like try to have those mantras. That's like, I don't know, I don't want to make y'all too like on a daily, I gotta like be all in my mind, like what am I thinking about in my intentions? And that's hard work. I'm not all that spiritual every day either. Like, okay, I need a couple days where I'm not like, let me just chill. But when I'm about to have, say, like a bunch of, interactions with friends, or I just kind of every so often, maybe like once a week, maybe, but definitely by the moons, I kind of make sure that I'm kind of saying kind of after every other word, but I try to put out intentions about, my relationships, about the podcast that I'm putting out there, that it's received by my soul family friends, and yeah, that there's mutual love there, and that through that mutual love, I can get messages that they need in the next round, and it's like this beautiful, like circle of blessing. Anyways, I hope that helps. It kind of feels like that's the vibe right now for at least energy that Spirit wants to talk about for March. Think about yourself being inspired about other opportunities, being open to them, to receive them, that you're worthy of it. And then you're also worthy and should expect to be well received and loved in return. Dude, you know you're loving. You deserve that in return, period. So I'll say it like that. Okay, the Goddess Oracle, the Goddess Power Oracle card. Let me go do that real quick. The same intentions, same protections going on. Let me just pull this next card. Saying stop. And this is Hectate, the in-between. What did I say about liminal? I hate saying that though. I hate people. I'm like, what did I just say? And then like, Spirit's just working through us. It's not about us, but it's just kind of funny when you do see it reflected. Not in a self-validating way, but just in the connection validating way. You know what I mean? Okay, Hectate, the in-between. The message here, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of learning this deck still, is saying, oh my God, that's so cool. I hate it when readers do this too. I'm Googling over the fact of the synchronicity here, but okay. You're standing in the liminal spaces between what was and what will be, who you have been, who you're becoming. The Greek goddess of crossroads and the in-between, Hecate, welcomes you to her domain and reminds you that neither place is your home. You're being asked to carefully choose the direction of your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and actions. Now is not the time for hasty action or stubbornness, but a fierce self-inventory. Bless the past and release the attachments to the stories that were what was. Now is the time to understand the responsibilities required as you move forward. What do you want to come? What do you want to become? What kind of life do you want to live? It's like considering all these things. So they're talking in this oracle. It's almost like it's having better advice than me. I said I go back to my meditation practices, and it's true. And then try to like get the inspiration again about your next one as much as you authentically can. Sometimes it's just hard to kind of like push your energy in new directions. I get it. It can be heavy sometimes. But yeah, they're just like the magic of now. It basically is like that you can connect, release the old, get ready for the new because it's coming. That's really kind of cool. The in-between. Sorry, I'll just show it again. Yeah, it's just a pretty gal. Her name's Hecate, Hecate. I still feel like, because it's been 2 months, maybe I'm a little rusty here. So y'all forgive any of my, any of my little personality quirks coming up right now. This other one is Mastery, and it's Saraswati. I like that this goddess is an Indian goddess, and I can't remember, it's like education. Yeah, so it's Mastery. It's like, you know, following those little hints about maybe some training for some of you guys on what you want to do with your spiritual gifts. Being open to some of those suggestions, or like little weekend classes, or just a pop-up class. You just won't know what you find. And online, there's so many people that are available for cool classes that are just not a lot of commitment, not even a lot of cost. I have one friend, Denise. She's with thegratefulmessenger.com, I think is her website, is The Grateful Messenger. And she's doing a mediumship class like in mid-March. It's just a one-off if you want to try to, try mediumship. If that's scary to you, I'm telling you, when I started the mediumship training route, that became real about receiving information from the other side. It just further strengthened this foundation that this is real. This isn't made up in my head. I could get real messages. And it was to me faith building. So go check out those classes. The alignment message with this is that, are you someone that begins things with great enthusiasm, but when you realize the scope of the situation, you move on to something else? So Mastery is going to be more about like, you might need to go deeper into study on something, and don't let that scare you. And that you can make small moves, but you beginning that mastery kind of thing is important. Even if, like me taking a yoga teacher certification class, I'm not going to teach yoga, but for me to kind of like go deeper into that, I'm open to it at some point doing that. I know I just never would offer that in terms of like a professional thing, but I'm like, I would love to learn even on a teacher level, like that body connection, body spirit connection, and some of those moves. There is some trauma that can be released with yoga that I used to poo-poo it, and now I'm like, oh no, okay, this is real too. So anyway, I'm just, I feel like those are the main messages for March, at least at this time. I appreciate y'all kind of letting me be myself today when I feel like I've been a little rusty and coming from a liminal space and stepping out again when I'm like, I just need to move this energy, and it's been too long and I was ready. But yeah, thanks for hanging in there. And I just hope that you guys get a little grace on those months that feel like, okay, they're not a waste. Just because we don't produce, like when we're in non-productive modes, like those are still healing. It's kind of like when I tell people when you're going through a crisis, and I'm like, God, you're closest to God when you're in a crisis. You were just God and angels or guides or whatever you want to call them, light beings, they're right by you. Like they really are saturating. It's hard to hear them because of our own sadness, but they are like saturating you in that moment. But liminal space too, I feel like our guides are just waiting for us to be like, when will they just sit down and try to hear the message? I'm ready to give it to them, and it's just hard to do that sometimes in our world. But I hope March brings out some really good, inkles on where you want to head this year in terms of your work or your development, anything like that. And yeah, I appreciate you listening, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, take care, y'all.